Alrighty. So, got questions and requests for doing a tutorial on usability. Not usability, UseAbility. Super used ability. I use it all the time. So, let's go right into it. What usability is for is a couple things. One is you can call like a BG, like a DAC dive bomb, that kind of thing. You can use it for stukas for their rockets. You can use it for troops for their special team abilities, whatever that might be. So a precursor to using the usability. If you're using the usability for a unit, like a stuka, I guess how you say it, stuka, you have to make sure that that unit is on the screen, because you're probably going to get a crash, scar error if it's not. Okay, so you have to be real careful. If you're using battlegroup, like the dive bomb from the DAC, you have to make sure that the DAC team is somewhere in the game, on team 1 or team 2. It's not going to work. It's not going to work as intended, or it might even crash your map if you try to do a usability on something that's not supposed to have it. So you're not going to have a Sherman tank do a usability for shooting rockets from a stuka or something like that. So it has to make sense, right? So it's a little bit of a touchy thing. So let's get this started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spawn squad. Spawn squad. I'm going to spawn player 1, which is me. I'm going to I'm going to go DAC. And I'm going to do which one should I do? I'm looking for Bison. No. I'm looking for the Stuka. Okay, Stuka is the vehicle that has the rockets, right? So it's going to spawn a Stuka right here. Right? Spawn Stuka. Right? So it's going to spawn the Stuka. And I want it to fire its rockets, because it's not going to fire the rockets. It's just, if you do attack, move, or move, it's just going to move around. If it has a machine gun, it'll fire the machine guns. How I fire the Stuka, let me just put a weight on here. Let's just do wait 5 seconds. Can never have enough weights. Alright, and I'm going to have the Stuka fire. So usability, think, and the caster. So what is going to be doing it? So let's go back to our Stuka. We spawned it, S group name. We're going to call it Stuka 1. So when we use ability, so who's firing it? Stuka is firing it. You have to skip cost. You don't want it to cost anything. Ignore ability cooldown. So when you fire, it waits. It has that cooldown. So you don't want to ignore that. You want to ignore the field of view. So you don't care if it can see whatever. Okay, you just want it to fire. I don't use Q. Don't really use direction for this kind of stuff. The ability fire is going to be, again, you got to match it. It's really important. So DAC, vehicles, it's going to be the Stuka. Let me just do a search. There it is. So there's 2, right? The creeping barrage and then the barrage. Oops. So it's going to fire the Stuka barrage, and I'll put it on a position. And I'll take that position and I'll put it right here. Right? It's going to fire at that position. Usability, Stuka rockets. So I know what it's doing. So the map's going to load. It's going to spawn the Stuka right here. Wait 5 seconds. It's going to fire the Stuka missiles right here. I have to make sure I turn this Playbill on. Let's put PB Stuka so I know what the heck it is. Alright, so that's your first example of usability. This is how I got the Annie to fire. So if you guys know or don't know, on the Comp Stomp 1 map there is something called, I don't know which one it is. I think it's this one, but I could be wrong. Anyways, there's this big thing here. It doesn't move. Okay. It's an Enzo Annie. There's a usability. It actually fires this thing. And it is under Germans. Just do a search for Annie. And there it is. So it actually fires this thing. Provided I have the right one. So the same thing applies. I'd spawn squad. And spawn squad unit. Name it. Fire. It goes. Alright. So any ability any unit has, you can do it with that playbill, that usability one. Another one, so I'm going to wait 30 seconds, is I'm going to go in a usability, and I want to cast player 1, no, player 2. Player 2, the enemy, okay, skip cost, ignore cooldown, ignore field of view, alright, and target, you can do a position, so you can put a position where you want to fire, but because I already made this Stuka, I'm going to put it as fire at the Stuka. So I think it was Stuka 1, is that what I called it? Spawn Stuka 1, right? Stuka 1, and then this is going to be usability, dive bomb, Stuka, right? So again, when the match starts, I can pick the right players I want, but because I know what I'm doing on this one, I'm just gonna make sure it's DAC on both sides. I think I'm using DAC on both, right? Yeah, DAC on both, right? So spawn Stuka. Wait 5 seconds, use the ability for Stuka rockets, wait 30 seconds, and then player 2 is going to dive bomb the Stuka. Shall we see if it works? Let's test it out. Again, this was a request. Somebody asked, they're asking about the usability command. So I want to kind of, easier to show it than try to explain it. You have to make sure you check these marks here. Skip cost specifically, because if they don't have enough, it causes problems or it won't fire. Obviously, you want to ignore the ability cooldown, ignore the field of view. I use this ability a lot in the Monte Cassino map, the Horde map, when I have the Stukas coming up the hill and they just consistently fire rockets, no cooldown. All right. So we're going to go in here. We're going to check out test. And it was usability, I think I said it was. Right here. Make sure it's DAC. Oh, make sure this one's DAC too, because it's DAC dive bomb. And we're going to go in. Hopefully it works. Do it kind of quick. There's my Stuka. And in 5 seconds it should fire. There we go. It's firing at the target that I told it to fire. And I can keep having it fire, because remember I ignored the cooldown, so you can actually have it like just continually auto fire. Really upset people but when you do that, but you can just lob unlimited rockets. And then around the 30-second mark, you should see a dive bomb thing coming, and then the DAC dive bomb should come and scar error. let's figure out why we got a scar error. I'm actually glad that came up, because I think the reason why we got a scar error, and I could be wrong, is because this is in the build area. So this whole area is the build area. And in the game, you can't stuka dive bomb in the build area, right? So that's what I'm thinking is the error. So let's go back, and to test my theory on this, we are going to go into gameplay. We are going to put some strategy points around, right? We're going to initialize. All right, so it's going to shoot over here. It's going to go over here, so it's not going to be, it's not in the build zone, right? This is the build zone, building bases, right? Just so you can visualize it better, I'll change this to the actual headquarters. All right, so that's the build area, the starting zone. And we got territory point over here, so it should be fair game. Let me just do a couple more of these rockets, because I think that's kind of neat. I'm going to show you how it doesn't need the cooldown. You can literally just fire, 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 fire. I'll change this down to 15 seconds. All right. So we have, oh, that's what I didn't do. That's why you don't do these things live. I didn't choose ability. See, I know you guys are probably thinking, why doesn't it work? Because I didn't choose ability. But I think it might have been because it's not going to attack in the team zone anyways. Deck, battle groups. I think it's the right side. I always do that. It's not the right side. It's the left side. Dive bomb. Let's try this again. All right. And this should work. There's no reason why it shouldn't. But yeah, you have to be careful when you use abilities or certain commands within the enemy's build zone. Because just like when you play the regular game, there's certain things you can't do in the enemy's zone, like drop troops, paratroops, stuff like that, which is a usability. It gives you get issues, so you have to be careful with that. All right. Trivial question for you. What map is this from? The screenshot in the background. Bet you don't know. Right. There's my stuka. I spawn squatted. Just gonna fire some rockets twice. No, it's not gonna fire. I think the reason it didn't fire is because it was firing while the other command, so you have to use the wait command enough. But anyways, here's the dive bomb. Kaboom! You die. Okay, so that's the usability. You can use it for any of the battle groups. I use it a lot for paratroopers. I use it a lot for using the rockets, for mortars, for lots of things like that. I use it a lot for, I just use it a lot. So just keep practicing, but it is really dangerous to use because it can give you errors if you don't have the unit on the screen and stuff like that. So you have to be really cautious with it. Anyways, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.